Happy New Year, the two words I said to nobody at midnight. December 31st, 2025, 11:59 p.m., 58, 57, the countdown. The moment everyone waits for, the stroke of midnight, the transition from old year to new, the moment of celebration, the moment of connection, the moment when everyone in the world says the same two words, Happy New Year, to someone, to people they love, to family gathered around, to friends at parties, to partners they kiss, to anyone, everyone says it. To someone, I said it to nobody, standing alone in my house, watching the clock turn, watching 2025 become 2026, and saying Happy New Year to empty room, to silence, to nobody. If you've ever said something important to nobody, comment midnight below. Happy New Year. It's 2026 now, January 1st, 2026. I'm supposed to say that, right? I'm supposed to wish you Happy New Year. That's what you do on New Year's. That's the tradition. That's the phrase. Happy New Year. I said it at midnight, out loud, automatically, habitually, because that's what you say when clock strikes 12 on New Year's Eve. You say Happy New Year to someone, to people around you, to people you're celebrating with. I said it, but there was nobody. Nobody to say it to, nobody to hear it, nobody to say it back, just me, in an empty house, saying Happy New Year to silence, to emptiness, to nobody. I'm recording this because those two words, Happy New Year, said to nobody at midnight, they revealed something about my life, something about what I've created, something about loneliness, something about isolation, something about consequences. Two simple words, universal words, words everyone says, words I couldn't say to anyone because there was nobody to say them to. That's revelation, that's truth, that's symbol of everything wrong. Two words I said to nobody at midnight. Let me tell you exactly what happened. Midnight, December 31st, 2025, becoming January 1st, 2026. The moment, the stroke of 12, the transition, the celebration. I was home, alone, in my house, big house, empty house, just me, no party, no gathering, no people, no celebration, no connection. Just me and the silence and the clock counting down to midnight. I was in the living room, TV on, watching coverage, watching other people celebrate, watching Times Square, watching crowds gathered, watching people together, watching connection, watching joy, watching what I didn't have. The countdown started. 60 seconds to midnight. 59, 58. Everyone on TV counting. Everyone in Times Square shouting numbers. Everyone in bars and parties and homes counting together. Building anticipation, building excitement, building toward moment, toward midnight, toward Happy New Year, toward celebration, toward connection. I watched alone, counting silently, or maybe not counting, just watching others count. Watching others anticipate, watching others prepare to celebrate together. Everyone shouting, everyone together, building to crescendo, to moment, to midnight, to Happy New Year. I watched, still alone, still silent, still disconnected from celebration happening everywhere except where I was. 3, 2, 1, midnight. 2025 became 2026. On TV, explosion, celebration, cheering, fireworks, people hugging, people kissing, people shouting Happy New Year to each other, joy, connection, togetherness, celebration of transition, of new beginning, of shared moment, everyone together, everyone celebrating, everyone saying Happy New Year to someone. And I said it too, automatically, habitually, out loud, Happy New Year. Said it to the TV, to the empty room, to the silence, to nobody. Just said it. Because that's what you say at midnight on New Year's. That's the phrase. That's the tradition. You say Happy New Year. And I said it. But there was nobody there. Nobody to hear it, nobody to say it to, nobody to celebrate with, nobody to share a moment with, just me, saying Happy New Year to emptiness. And then silence. After I said it, after the words left my mouth, silence. No response. No Happy New Year back. No celebration. No joy. No connection. Just silence. Just emptiness. Just me standing in a room having said 2 words to nobody and realizing, understanding, confronting the reality, the loneliness, the isolation, the absence of anyone to say Happy New Year to, the symbol of everything wrong. Happy New Year, simple words, universal words, words everyone says, words I said to nobody. And those words, saying them to nobody, hearing silence after, standing alone, having spoken celebration to emptiness, they symbolize something. They reveal something. They represent something bigger than just 2 words. They are the most universal phrase of the night. Everyone says it, everywhere, in every language, in every culture. At midnight on New Year's Eve, billions of people say some version of Happy New Year. It's universal, it's shared. It's what connects everyone in that moment. Everyone saying same thing, everyone celebrating same transition, everyone sharing same words, except those words require someone, require a person to say them to, require connection. I had the words, everyone has the words, but I had nobody to say them to. The most universal phrase that requires connection to speak meaningfully, and I had no connection, had words but nobody, had phrase but no person, had tradition but no relationship. That's what those words symbolize. Universal phrase I couldn't share, because I had nobody to share it with. They're the simplest words to say. 2 words. Easy words, words children can say, words everyone knows. Not complicated, not difficult, not requiring eloquence or poetry or special skill. Just Happy New Year. Simplest expression of goodwill. Simplest wish for someone. Simplest celebration of shared moment. And I couldn't say them to anyone. Not because they're hard to say, because I had nobody to say them to. The simplest words, the easiest phrase, and I couldn't share them because simplest words still require someone, still require relationship, still require connection. I had the words, they were easy. But having easy words without anyone to speak them to, that's not ease, that's emptiness. That's what those words symbolize. Simplest expression I couldn't share, because even simplest things require connection I don't have. They're supposed to express happiness. Happy New Year, wishing someone happiness, wishing someone good year, expressing hope and joy and celebration. But I'm not happy. Standing alone at midnight saying Happy New Year to nobody, that's not happiness. That's loneliness. That's isolation. That's the opposite of what the words express. The irony. The painful irony. Saying words that wish happiness while being unhappy. Saying words that celebrate while not celebrating. Saying words that express joy while feeling empty. That's what those words symbolize. The gap between what they're supposed to mean and what saying them to nobody actually means. The irony of wishing happiness I don't have. Expressing celebration I'm not experiencing. Speaking joy I'm not feeling. They're a tradition I couldn't participate in. Midnight on New Year's. Everyone says it. Everyone participates. Everyone shares the moment. Everyone connects through those words. It's tradition. It's ritual. It's shared human experience. And I was excluded, not by others, by my own choices, by my own life, by consequences of how I've lived. I wanted to participate, wanted to share tradition, wanted to say Happy New Year to someone. But I couldn't, because tradition requires people, ritual requires relationship, shared experience requires someone to share with, and I had nobody. excluded from simplest tradition, unable to participate in most universal ritual, standing outside shared human experience. That's what those words symbolize. Tradition I couldn't participate in, not because tradition excluded me, because I excluded myself through living in a way that left me alone. After I said it, after Happy New Year left my mouth and entered empty room, there was silence. Not comfortable silence, not peaceful silence, loud silence, heavy silence. Silence that revealed everything. Silence that confronted me with reality. Silence that made clear what I'd just done, what those words meant, what saying them to nobody revealed. The silence said, nobody's here, nobody heard you, nobody responded, nobody said it back, nobody shared moment, nobody celebrated with you. You're alone, completely alone. On night when everyone else is together, you're alone. And that silence, that absence of response, that emptiness after words, made it real, made it undeniable, made it impossible to ignore or pretend or avoid. I was alone on New Year's Eve, at midnight, at the moment of universal celebration and connection. I was alone. I stood there, in that silence, in that emptiness, in that realization, just stood there, not moving, not speaking again, not doing anything, just standing in silence that followed words spoken to nobody, and understanding, fully understanding, completely understanding what I'd created, what my life had become, what choices had led to. Standing alone at midnight on New Year's Eve, saying Happy New Year to nobody, that's the life I built, that's the result of my choices, that's the consequence of my priorities. That's what I created. Silence, emptiness, loneliness, nobody to say Happy New Year to. While I stood in silence, while I confronted emptiness, while I understood loneliness, everyone else, everyone in the world was doing something different, something I wasn't doing, something I couldn't do, because I had nobody. They were saying it to someone, Happy New Year to partners, to family, to friends, to people they love, to people gathered around them, to people celebrating with them. Everyone, billions of people, saying those same two words to someone, to people who mattered, to people who were there, to people who said it back, to connection, to relationship, to shared moment. That's what everyone else was doing. What I couldn't do, because I had nobody to say it to, they were hugging, kissing, celebrating together, physical connection, emotional connection, shared joy, shared celebration, shared moment of transition from old year to new, together, not alone, together, celebrating together, connecting together, sharing together. That's what happens at midnight on New Year's. For people who have people, for people who have relationships, for people who have connection, they celebrate together, they share a moment, they connect. That's what everyone else was doing. What I couldn't do, because I was alone, they were posting on social media, Happy New Year, with photos, with people, with celebrations, with connection, sharing their joy, sharing their celebration, sharing their togetherness. Millions of posts, billions of posts, everyone sharing Happy New Year with their people and with world. Evidence of celebration, evidence of connection, evidence of not being alone. That's what everyone else was doing. And I could see it, could scroll through it, could watch everyone else celebrate together while I stood alone. Could see evidence of what I didn't have, what I couldn't share, what I couldn't post, because there was nobody, no photo, no celebration, no connection, just me, alone, unable to participate in universal sharing of universal celebration. They were experiencing the tradition, the ritual, the shared human moment, the thing that happens at midnight on New Year's, the thing everyone participates in, the connection, the celebration, the togetherness, the saying Happy New Year to people who matter and hearing it back and sharing moment and feeling connected and celebrating transition together. That's the tradition. That's the ritual. That's the shared human experience. And everyone else was experiencing it, was participating, was connected, was together. And I wasn't. I was outside it, excluded from it. Not by others, by my own life, by my own choices, by consequences that left me alone when everyone else was together, standing there in silence. After saying Happy New Year to nobody, after confronting what that revealed, after understanding what it symbolized, I decided, I committed, I changed, not just wished, not just hoped, decided. 2026 will be different. Not because year is different, because I'm changing, because I'm done being alone at midnight, done saying important words to nobody, done being isolated, done being excluded from shared human experiences, because I have nobody to share them with. I'm changing, starting now. I'm building relationships in 2026, real relationships, deep relationships, relationships that put people in my life, not just contacts in phone, not just professional connections, real people who I care about, who care about me, who I'd celebrate with, who I'd say Happy New Year to, who'd say it back, who'd be there at midnight, not alone, together. That's what I'm building. That's the priority. That's what 2026 is about. Building relationships, creating connection, having people. So next New Year's Eve, I'm not alone. So I have someone to say Happy New Year to. So I'm not standing in silence, speaking to emptiness. I'm prioritizing presence in 2026. Being there, being with people, being available, being connected, not distant, not absent, not isolated, present with people I care about, with people who matter. Creating relationship through presence, through being there, through showing up, through participating in life with others instead of living isolated. That's the change. That's the priority. Presence, connection, being with instead of being without. I'm saying what needs saying in 2026. I love you. I'm proud of you. I want you in my life. I value you. All the words I've left unsaid, all the expressions I've withheld, all the communication I've avoided, I'm saying it out loud to people. Creating connection through words, through expression, through communication, not assuming people know, saying it, making it clear, creating certainty through words. So relationships exist, so connection is real, so I have people to say Happy New Year to. Because I've said all the other words that build relationships that result in having people at midnight. Share this if you started 2026 alone at midnight. Comment if you're building relationships in 2026. Subscribe for truth about connection and living in a way that creates having people.